This is Capivara Talks, where we connect the dots no one asked us to connect. From heartbreak anthems to multiverse collapses. Grab your headphones, settle in, and let's get into today's episode.
No pressure, just fun and maybe a snort laugh or two along the way. Let's go.
All right, so today we're digging into a whole bunch of sources about a movie that, well, everyone's talking about, Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four. First Steps. It lands July 25th, 2025.
Yeah, and it's not just another superhero flick, is it? It's kicking off Phase 6.
Exactly. And it's a reboot of a team that's had, let's say, a complicated history on screen. The sources we've seen really paint a picture of something deliberately different. We're hearing about a unique vision, a really interesting cast, and some cosmic heavy hitters right from the jump.
Right. So we're going to try and pull out the key stuff, figure out what it all means for the MCU.
Let's start with that phrase that keeps popping up.
Yeah.
Where Kirby meets Kubrick. What is that even about?
Okay, yeah, that Kirby meets Kubrick line, it sounds catchy, but it seems like it's genuinely the core idea for the look and feel.
So Jack Kirby, the comics legend, right?
Right.
Co-creator. Big cosmic visuals.
Exactly. His wild imagination, that space fantasy energy, but then you blend it with Stanley Kubrick, specifically like 2001. A Space Odyssey, that deliberate, detailed, almost grand cinematic style.
So not just crazy space stuff, but crazy space stuff that feels solid, tangible.
That's the idea. The sources are really highlighting the push for practical effects. They're actually building Reed's lab, making the Baxter building feel like a real home.
A real home. Interesting.
Yeah, and they apparently built a real interior for the Fantastic Car, used actual models for spaceships. Some big ones, apparently. Oh, and HERBI is supposedly a practical animatronic.
Wow. Okay, so that feels like a very conscious decision, especially now with all the talk about CGI overload.
It really does. It seems like a direct answer to some of that criticism, maybe. Director Matt Shakman wants this world, even with all the fantastic stuff, to feel grounded, weighted, lived in.
Anchoring the Kirby weirdness in some Kubrick reality.
Got it. Pretty much. Makes the unbelievable maybe feel a bit more believable.
Okay, fascinating foundation. So who's bringing this vision to life? The sources say the team is already established, like a tightly knit unit.
Yeah, they have family dinner every week, apparently. That kind of vibe. They're skipping the origin, focusing right on the dynamics.
And Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards.
He's bringing the brains, obviously, but also warmth. Focused on that solve-everything drive, which, might cause some friction.
Right. And Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. The sources call her the glue.
Yeah, the most emotionally intelligent, a powerful diplomat too, totally in command of her powers. But the really big thing, she's confirmed to be pregnant in the film.
Whoa, okay, that adds a whole different layer.
Totally. Exploring parenthood anxiety alongside, cosmic threats. And of course, everyone's wondering about Franklin Richards.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Okay, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. Eddie Munson himself.
Right. Described as maybe a more modern take, still flashy, still loves the attention, but maybe less callous, more self-aware, like a dreamer.
Gotcha. And Ebon Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm, the Thing.
Yeah, from The Bear. He's doing motion capture, bringing that grounded loyalty, the sort of moral core. Apparently they explore his struggle with being, rock, using human flashbacks, so heart and muscle.
It's a great cast. And speaking of grounding big characters, Ralph Ineson as Galactus, his voice alone.
Oh, yeah. The sources say it sounds like it could collapse a star, which is pretty much perfect for a planet eater, right? Calm, but terrifying.
And he's the main bad guy. Right away.
Seems like it. No cloud this time. Ineson's actually wearing a practical suit, making him a real presence. Early reports called it terrifying, kind of a cosmic horror angle. Lovecraftian, even.
Intense. And he comes with the Silver Surfer. But it's not Norrin Rad.
Nope. It's Shala Ball, a female version played by Julia Garner from Ozark.
Okay, that's a big change. What's her deal?
Well, she arrives to warn them about Galactus. The speculation is maybe she became the Herald as part of some deal, like to save her own world. Add some tragedy, maybe.
Interesting. And Dr. Doom?
Definitely not the main villain here. They're saving him, clearly building him up for later.
So, okay, let's recap. No origin story. Established family unit. Retro-futuristic 1960s alternate reality. Practical effects focus. Facing Galactus and Shala Ball right off the bat. No other superheroes around.
Yeah, it's a lot different from the other movies.
It feels like a very deliberate strategy, trying to avoid the old problems.
Seems like it. Skipping the origin everyone knows, actually embracing the fantastic visuals, getting that family dynamic right from the start.
And the alternate reality thing, does that disconnect them?
Initially, yeah. Gives them creative freedom. but it's definitely part of the multiverse saga. Sue's already confirmed for future Avengers movies like Doomsday and Secret Wars, so they'll connect eventually.
Makes sense. Now, anticipation seems really high. Those ticket sales were huge. But there were those mixed early test screening reports, too.
Test screenings. Always tricky, right? Unfinished effects, things change. Some reports said mid, but others apparently pushed back hard, saying excellent. Galactus, the practical one, seems to be getting praise, though.
And Marvel skipping the big Comic-Con panel this year, right around the release. What's that about?
Who knows? Could be caution. Could just be changing how they do promotion. Hard to say.
So when you look at all this, skipping the origin, the alternate reality, the practical effects, the immediate cosmic threat, the family focus, why this way, what's the big idea behind introducing Marvel's first family like this? What really stands out to you?
I think it feels like Marvel saying, look, we know the basics. Let's just give you the core, the family, the weirdness, the cosmic scale right now. Setting them up in this unique, tangible world lets them hit the ground running, you know? It avoids baggage and maybe re-energizes things by showing something visually and tonally distinct before throwing them into the big multiverse mix-up.
It's a bold move. Could pay off big time.
High stakes, for sure. But maybe that's what they need to really make the Fantastic Four land this time.
If this episode hit the spot, you know what to do. Follow Capivara Talks on YouTube and Spotify, and send this to that friend who still asks if the Fantastic Four are in the Avengers. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time.